All right. So we're here with Coach Suzanne Rigg, Zionsville Women's Girls Program. Coach, strong win today, obviously. Talk to us a little bit about how the girls performed and what are your thoughts on today?
Yeah, I was just really pleased on how the girls performed in the conditions today. It's not been easiest conditions, but we love this. This is true cross country. So yeah, I was really happy with the progress.
And then, from a coaching perspective, is there do the girls, is it taken care of? Is that the culture you've established, or what's the message today in this bad conditions, kind of going into it before pre-meet?
Yeah, well, we knew as far as the conditions go, we knew that this was going to be tough, and it really suits those stronger runners. So we've been working really hard, and I feel like we're pretty strong at the moment. But yeah, I think just trudging through that mud is a challenge to anybody. But a lot of that is your mental attitude going into it, and if you are strong and tough and mentally ready for it, I think any conditions are good for any athlete.
Right. So obviously have a strong team. Ran well today. Expectation-wise, obviously, can you just talk a little bit about? I mean, you don't have to give me specifics,
Yeah.
but what's on the team's radars? What are goals that you guys are talking about internally for the season?
Well, 4 years ago, I guess we had never even made it to state, so it was every year has just been a progression from there, and so every year the bar is really set a little bit higher. And last year we were fortunate enough to finish on the podium in 5th place, so the bar has gone up another notch or 4. But yeah, so I don't like to get super specific with the girls, because I think when you're so specific, you end up putting too much pressure on them, and they, it's just hard. So yeah, I am not super specific, but we have some pretty lofty goals this year for our team.
And then for everybody else, what season are you in now at Zionsville for yourself being the head coach?
This is going into my 4th year of cross country.
That's what I thought. How has the program evolved since you've taken the helm?
Well, I think what I've been able to do is just, I was very, very fortunate that the girls and the seniors that I took on, they really jumped on board with my philosophy and my training. And, I think it helps in a way that I'm a female, because I have sort of been there, done that, and I know what they're thinking before they even say it. So we talk about everything, and nothing is off limits. And, I just think that sort of thing has, along with the seniors 4 years ago jumping on board, it's really been pretty seamless, and they've just risen to the challenge every year.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, every year we've set that bar a little bit higher, but they've achieved it.
That's fantastic to see that happen. And for you touched briefly on the training. How's the training evolved since? I mean, was it a rampant? What do you focus on? If at a high level summary of your program, what do you focus on in terms of training for cross country?
Well, I mean, personally, I ran at all different levels, from high school to collegiate to professionally. So I see this as a longer term thing, not just be great in high school and then not be able to step up. So I train them like high school girls. Basically, I try to get as much out of them with as little mileage as possible, because their bodies are still growing, they're still young, they've got a lot on at school, mentally, physically, there's a lot going on. So, I really have just focused on trying to train them for where they're at. And, they work super hard, and I guess the benefits are showing.
Yeah, absolutely. That's great. Changing gears a little bit. So, your son, Oliver, down at Alabama, and now you have your daughter, Sophia, running on the team.
Yeah.
And she's running very well. How's, for coaches who may or may not be in that situation, talk a little bit about that dynamic of a mom coach, and the difficulties and the pros and cons maybe that come along with that.
Yeah, no, at first they were sort of horrified to see their mother at school. How embarrassing for any high schoolers, especially Oliver, who was younger at that time. And then I had coached for a year by the time Sophia got to high school. So the transition wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. The first couple of weeks were totally embarrassing for them, but it's been fine. And so I think the good part about it is for my own daughter, I know her so well that, you know, I'm seeing her, except for when she's in class, I'm seeing her all the time. So I know if she's tired, I know her sleep patterns, I know what she's eating. And so it's good for me to be able to see all that. And I, you know, not just with her, but with all the girls, you know, that's something that I really try and focus on, is trying to make sure that I know them well enough, and that we talk about everything. Like I said, we talk about our sleep, we talk about nutrition, we talk about way more than probably most people want to know.
Right. No, that's fantastic, and that's great. So, all right, Coach. Well, thanks for connecting with RunCurrent. Obviously, fantastic job today.
Thank you.
And we look forward to seeing how the rest of the season goes for you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot.